hello. So it is absolutely true what they say. One of the hardest things to do is to begin again. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you have not been here in a long time, that's understandable. Neither have I. I'm back though because I love this platform. It has been such a long time since I've been able to be here. Life being lifing, but I decided that the best way to start is just to begin. Jump right in. It doesn't matter how done up I look, how much makeup I have. I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna do it. The first thing I would like to say is thank you to the people who have stood with me, stood beside me, did not unsubscribe when I was going through my hiatus. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. It has been a journey. And as many of you know, when you start a job and you have more to do, your priorities kind of shift around a little bit. And so for a while, YouTube was just not something I could fit into my regular life. And now I think I am finally finding the balance. Très balancé. I hope that we can get to this place more often. All right, so the first thing I am going to delight you with is my very short, amazing haul. My husband's been gone for 2 weeks on a trip and your girlfriend be shopping. And I was with Wendy from Wendy's Inspired Reads. And if you know anything about her, you know how obsessed with books she is. And she did influence me to spend some money on some books, but I'm so excited. Let's get into my book haul. The first book that I got in my haul was Sally Rooney, and I think it's called Intermezzo. I hope so. I'm really trying to be a smart girly and read a lot of literary fiction. And this book has been calling to me. Have you ever just had a book that follows you, like it's staring you down every bookstore you go into? You just know that it's for you. It's almost like a love at first sight. Like I just know I'm going to love this book. And it has grief representation. Is anybody surprised? It says here, aside from the fact that they are brothers, Peter and Ivan Kobic seem to have little in common. Peter is a Dublin lawyer in his 30s, successful, competent, and apparently unassailable. But in the wake of their father's death, he's medicating himself to sleep and struggling to manage his relationships with two very different women. His enduring first love, Sylvia, and Naomi, a college student from whom life is one long joke. Scandalous. Ivan is a 22-year-old competitive chess player. He has always seen himself as socially awkward, a loner, the antithesis, one of my favorite words, by the way, of his glib elder brother. Now, in the early weeks of his bereavement, Ivan meets Margaret, an older woman emerging from her own turbulent past, and their lives become rapidly and intensely intertwined. For two grieving brothers and the people they love, this is a new interlude, a period of desire, despair, and possibility, a chance to find out how much one's life might hold inside itself without breaking. I don't even think I've read the back yet. Jeez, this is gonna be like 5-star. Okay, I'm not gonna read the back of this one because I'm trying not to read the back of every single book because it would take too long, but this is called Monogamy. It's a novel by Sue Miller. I have no idea. This is a new to me author, but number one, it's just gorgeous. I really liked it. The gold leaves, I forget what foil leaves. So I looked on the back of this basically to tell you they are a married couple. They've been together for over 30 years, but he passes away and she kind of finds the seedy underbelly of his life. And the things that she finds will challenge the entire relationship and negate so many things that were positive. So my curiosity was piqued. Number one, it looks really academic, even the paper, even it's old manuscript looking. That's what attracted me at first, but what I think I actually am going to find is a nice family drama. And that's what I'm excited about. It looks like it's going to be just scandalous. The next book that I got was The Light Pirate. I don't know, girls, and guys, the shift in me to read literary fiction is real. I think when you go through trauma, grief, difficulty in life, it opens this part of you that is very serious and contemplative and thoughtful. And so I feel like that's kind of what I'm drawn to now more often. But this is a story of survival and resilience spanning one woman's lifetime as she navigates the uncertainty, brutality, and arresting beauty of a rapidly changing world. This is set in Florida too, so Gotta love Florida. Florida, as we know it, is slipping away as devastating weather patterns and rising sea levels wreak gradual havoc on the state's infrastructure. A powerful hurricane approaches a small town on the southern eastern coast. Kirby, which is such a cute name. Kirby Lowe, an electrical line worker for the local utility municipality, love that word, his pregnant wife, Frida, and their two sons, Flip and Lucas, prepare for the worst. When the boys go missing just before the hurricane hits, Kirby heads out into the high winds in search of his children. Left alone, Frida goes into premature labor and gives birth to an unusual child, Wanda, whom she names after the catastrophic storm that ushers her into a society closer to collapse than ever before. As Florida continues to unravel, Wanda grows. Moving from childhood to adulthood, she adapts not only the changing landscape, but also she adapts not only to the changing landscape, but also to the people who stayed behind. In this town, abandoned by civilization and remade by nature, Wanda loses family, finds community, and comes to terms with a mysterious purpose that has been whispering to her all these years. What? It's amazing. It says it's told in 4 parts: power, water, light, and time. I mean, it's actually different from what I thought it was. I thought it was about a woman who was like finding her children, and she was like a electrical line worker or something. But this story is so cool. It's just very abstract, and I feel like I really crave unique, like offbeat abstract stories, and this just kind of fits the bill for me, so I'm excited. The next book is Wild Dark Shore. This has been in my every waking moment because Haley Pham and I, if you know her on YouTube, I feel like we have very similar tastes, and she loves literary fiction and she loves like heady, I don't know, intelligent books, and I kind of in sci-fi. And I feel like this kind of has all of that. So I have been drawn to this book too, and I've been seeing it on the shelf. And the reason that I got it, because I also have the audiobook, is because I feel like I am going to annotate this, and I really am excited about that. I love annotating books, and so this is going to be a very exciting one for me, but I'm going to read the synopsis to you. Dominic Salt and his 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica. I already love the setting. Home to the world's largest sea bank, Shearwater was once full of researchers, but with sea levels rising, the salts are now its final inhabitants. Until, during the worst storm the island has ever seen, a woman mysteriously washes ashore. Isolation has taken its toll on the salts, but as they nurse the woman, Rowan, back to strength, it begins to feel like she might just be what they need. Rowan, long accustomed to protecting herself, starts imagining a future where she could belong to someone again. But Rowan isn't telling the whole truth about why she set out for Shearwater. And when she discovers sabotaged radios in a freshly dug grave, she realizes Dominic is keeping his own secrets. As the storms on Shearwater gather force, they all must decide if they can trust one another enough to protect the precious seeds in their care before it's too late, and if they can finally put the tragedies of the past behind them to create something new. It sounds so dystopian, sci-fi, thrilling, mysterious, like just sign me up. The next book I got was clearly for the beautiful sprayed edges, and it's a new release of my favorite author, Rebecca Searle. And I love this book. Look at the sprayed edges. This book is so meaningful. I really love Rebecca Searle because she creates moral dilemmas that you are like really challenged in. Like your idea of scruples and morality is always challenged because she creates situations where you're like, oh, that's not morally right, but I see how it happened, and I kind of justify it in my mind, and I can understand why someone made that decision. And I really like things that are not so black and white. I really like the in-between where you're like, I don't really know what this is, but I have to navigate it in my own way, in my own perspective and worldview. So I really like her love stories. There's always some kind of like big event that you're like, I don't really believe that's a good thing, but I also really can't look away. But what I love about this story is essentially she's in a perfectly fine relationship, but then all of a sudden she wakes up and it's 5 years into the future, and her life will never be the same. It says it's an unforgettable love story, but not the one that you're expecting. It's actually interesting because this story is a story with friendship being the main plot and romance being the subplot. There is a love story of soulmate friendship in this book, which is another reason why I love it. I, once again, just kind of went out on a whim. This is a Haley Pham marked want to read book, and I saw it at the library, and I was like, I mean, Haley Pham wants to read it, and she and I both love intelligent books, so it can't be that bad. I'm going to not read the back, but essentially it is a coming of age story of a student at Harvard who starts to feel things for an older mathematician student, and they have very diverse backgrounds and unique experiences, and it just kind of is a coming of age story for two people in college that are discovering that life isn't as good as they thought it was and kind of navigating disappointment and all of that. But it was actually a Pulitzer Prize finalist. So I feel like this will be a really good book to just challenge my thought process and go deeper into some themes that I might not be used to. Here's another book that has been calling my name. This was just the week that I went and got all the books that have been calling out to me. Anita Demont, a rising star in the art world, is found dead in New York City. Her tragic death is the talk of the town until it isn't. By 1998, Anita's name has been all but forgotten, and certainly by the time Raquel, a third-year art student, or history art student, is preparing her final thesis. On College Hill, surrounded by privileged students whose futures are already paved for them, Raquel feels like an outsider. Students of color like her are the minority there, and the pressure to work twice as hard for the same opportunities is no secret. But when Raquel becomes romantically involved with a well-connected older art student, she finds herself unexpectedly rising up the social ranks. As she attempts to straddle both worlds, she stumbles upon Anita's story, raising questions about the dynamics of her own relationship, which eerily mirrors that of the forgotten artist. Whoa. It is like a literary fiction, romance, thriller, all of the things. I just feel like it's going to be really, really good, and I'm very excited to dive into this one.